What's up my achievement trainers, Mayhem Blizz? We're playing Train Sim World 5 for the 41000G. It's on Xbox Game Pass, so if you got that chappy, pick this up. And we're going to be copying the 41000G in around 2 hours. Please note there is one achievement that does require us to travel 500 miles in the train, but we can just leave our controller plugged in and let the train loop. So let's get started. So press any button and choose any character, and then give the character any name. And then we're going to select beginner. In here we're going to do a few tutorial levels, but first off what we're going to do is pause the game, so press start, and you're going to go to the options tab, and you're going to go into photo mode, and then you're going to press A to take a screenshot. Once you've taken a screenshot, press A again to save, and you'll get the Trainspotting achievement for 10 Gs. So you can back out of that. And then we need to do some tutorial-based things. First off, we're going to do some view controls, so use the right toggle to look at all the indicators. Once done, we need to move around with the left stick. So just go to all of the checkpoints. And once you get to the front of the building, you'll find this training center map. And this is our first one of 20 collectibles that we need for the Taskmaster achievement. Once done, head inside and to the right, and then press the Y button to sit down on any of the seats.
You can pause at any point to review objectives and a lot of other...
And then once prompted, you're going to press start to pause the menu, and you can just press the B button to back out. And then once prompted, press the Y button to leave your seat and follow the remaining checkpoints. And then once you reach here, just let the dialogue play out and you've finished your first training session, and you'll get the Freshman achievement for 10 Gs. And do note these achievements do take a while to pop, so don't worry. Once you've got that, press A to continue to Chapter 1. We have a really simple training session here. What we want to do is just wait for the dialogue to finish. And then we're going to walk over to the train, Y to get inside, and Y to sit down. And that is pretty much it for this training session. Just get through this dialogue and meet me back when we have some prompts to select. And at the end of this training session, you get to choose what HUD type you would like, normal or minimal. I would advise you select normal, as I do, just so you can follow along more clearly with this guide. Continuing on with the next training session then, we are now going to discover the basic mechanics to move the train. So just get through the dialogue and wait for your first prompt to appear in the top left. So this button here turns the headlights on, so hold A and move the slider to day head. And then the button to the left of that, we're going to hold A and move that to off to turn the tail lights off. And then the lever to the left, you're going to hold A and move that slider to forward. And then the first lever, we're going to hold A and move that to P4.
In the bottom right and in the center of the speedometer gauge, you can see a little ball. This is the accelerometer and will move up.
And then just keep an eye on your speed, so the kilometers per hour. Once you get that up to about 30, move the power brake to off. And if you look over to the HUD on the right, we can see that we're traveling at 30 kilometers an hour. So if you're just under that, maybe just move it back into P1 and then move it back to off.
When it comes to stopping trains, the specifics of each train can be quite different. However, the basic process is fundamentally the same. Bring this train to a complete
So now we
stop
need
by
to
moving
stop the train. We can hold right bumper to do an emergency stop, or you can hold A on that lever and move the slider to emergency stop.
the amount of braking
And
that
that's
you need
this
to
training
apply
session
also
complete. So just get
varies
through the
depending on
dialogue
whether you're
and
going
wait till you're back
uphill
at the
or
menu.
downhill.
Moving on to the next one then. Typical English
In
weather.
this training mod, open the
We're
door
going to
and
wait
climb
for the
aboard
dialogue to
train.
finish as always. So approach the door, press A to open it, walk inside, press Y to sit down, and then look to the
Always
door,
remember to close the
just
driver's
left a little
door
bit
once you
more
get
and we
to
can
the
press
cab.
A to close it.
Some trains will prevent the brakes from releasing if
there we
any
are.
doors, including the driver's door, are... To unlock the control desk, insert the master
And then
key and
press and
activate it.
hold A to use the master key and move the slider.
Turn the coach lighting on so that passengers aren't boarding a dark train.
And then up the top, we're going to press the A button to turn the lighting on.
To allow passengers to board the train, you will need to open the correct doors. In order to use the buttons in the cab, you must first insert and then turn the door key to the on position.
And then we need to put in the door key. So hold A and move the slider.
As the platform is on your left, press the open doors left button.
And then you're going to press A on the door release to open the doors to the left.
The weather has turned quite bad, so you'll need to turn the wipers on.
And then we need to turn our wipers on, so hold A on this to bring up the slider and move it to intermittent 2.
The cab light is currently on. Make sure to turn it off. It's useful to find your way around in the cab, but can make it hard to see out of the window, so you should always turn it off.
And then we
before
need
you
to
start
turn the
moving.
cab lights off. So next to the wiper button, we're going to hold A on that, bring up the slider and slide it to off.
Headlights in the UK are used to allow others to see the train rather than being of great use to the driver seeing out. Set the headlights for daytime running and ensure the tail lights are off.
We're going to now turn our headlights back to day head. And then remember to turn the tail lights off. So same as we did before.
While the passenger doors are open and the loading objective completes, you'll notice the bar in the top left slowly rising. Once it reaches the top, the objective will complete and it will be time to close the doors.
And you can see the bar in the top left hand corner, and that is passengers boarding the train. And once that is full, you can press left on the D-pad to close the train doors, or you can just press the close door button switch that we pressed earlier. And just a note on that, there'll be occasions when we need to open the doors on the right hand side. Likewise, you can
Now
just
that
press
passengers
right
have
on the
boarded
D-pad.
train, close and lock the doors using the close left doors button.
So now we're good to get the train moving. So the left
Set the
lever, we're
reverse
going to
into
put that
forward.
into forward. And then the power lever on the right of it, I'm just going to move that to P2. And then you can see the destination we're going to in the top left hand corner is 700 meters away. And you can actually see an indicator to where it's located. So I'm just going to go up to P4 here just to get it rolling. Then remember just to keep an eye on the speed that we're doing. So we're at 70, nearly 80, so I'm just going to move that back to P1. And actually I'm just going to turn that off. And move it to braking 1.
Use the power brake handle to apply power so that you
So
come
about
to a
300
total
meters
stop
out
at the
now.
indicated marker on the platform.
Got our achievement for reaching driver level 2 for 20 gamer score. That's nice. You'll get that one naturally. And we've actually braked too soon and we've stopped before the marker, but that's fine. We can just move into P2 to get the train rolling again. I'm leaving this in as you'll no doubt experience the same thing on another level. So yeah, if you do come to a stop before the marker, just change it to power 2 to get it rolling again. And then I'm just holding right bumper here to do an emergency brake to land on the marker. So you can either hold that right bumper or just move that lever to emergency brake.
This platform is on
So once you get the prompt to open the right side doors, you're going to press right on the D-pad to open them, or you can see the indicator for the button to do the same. So either of those. And then up in the top left, we can see our passengers loading the train again. And so we're just going to wait for that to go to the top. And once that's green and good, we can press the button to close the doors, or right on the D-pad to close them.
Use the doors close right button. Drive the train to the next platform.
And now we're good to move the power back to P2, or if you want to get it proper rolling, back into P4. And you see we've got a new indicator now, 700 meters away. So again, just focus on your speed here. We're nearly hitting 80 kilometers an hour. So I'm going to press the right bumper a few times to get into power 1. Again, you could either use the right bumper or use the lever to move the slider to P1. 500 meters out, I'm just going to change to off and braking 1. Braking 2, now we're nearly 200 meters. And it looks like we're just a little bit short, but because we're in training mode, it's going to give it to us. So we need to load the passengers. So left on D-pad, or you can press the button to open. Wait for that to fill up. And once it's full, or you get prompted to lock the doors as you see in the top left, we can press left on the D-pad or press the button to close the doors.
That concludes this module. If you wish to replay it, you can come back to it at any time via the training center.
And that was all of the training modules completed, and we've got the graduate achievement for 20 Gs. So now we can head on to the scenario achievements. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to main menu, and then to the trains, and then choose a route. You're going to go to Frankfurt, and then scenarios, and then we're going to choose the ice into the night, and press A to get started. So there's an achievement for completing it in beginner, standard, and expert, but what we can do is we'll be saving right at the end of this level, and then we can reload checkpoint and change the difficulty and cop them that way. And as usual, we're just going to get through the dialogue. We need to load the passengers, so let's wait for that bar to fill up. And then we need to lock the doors. So the platform's on the left, so a left on the D-pad. And now we can whammy the throttle to max. And we're moving. And top left, you can see we've got 19 kilometers to travel. You're good to just leave this running until we're at 3 kilometers remaining. So once we're approaching 3 kilometers, we're going to move the throttle from max to off. So that's the left lever that we moved earlier. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the brake, which is on release, and we're going to move that all the way to rapid braking. And what we're just going to do is focus on the distance in the top left. And once you reach 1.8 kilometers, we're going to max everything out again. And now we're at 1.8 kilometers, we can max everything out again. So put the brake back into release and throttle back to max. And then focus on the distance again, and once you get to about 1.5, we're going to slowly release the throttle and brake a little. So now at 1.5 kilometers away, we're going to turn our throttle from max to off. And then 1.2 kilometers away, so I'm just going to change the braking to 4 and 5. Still got quite some speed on here, so I'm just going to change that to 7 braking. I realised I might have been braking a little bit too much there. But it's best to brake before than it is afterwards, otherwise that would fail the mission. So adjust the braking to how quick you're going. I'm doing rapid braking here because I'm about 300 meters out. And full application and 7 because I realise I'm slowing down quite a bit. Looks like I'm going to run short, so I'm going to stick the throttle back on. Again, it's not the end of the world that we have stopped short. We can just hit the throttle back on and release our braking fully. And sometimes it does take a while to get running again. Sometimes you do need to just put the throttle off and on again to trigger it to move. So here we are, we're moving now. So I'm just going to move the throttle at a slow pace, around 10%. Okay, we're going to turn the throttle off and rapid braking because we are on the checkpoint. So we need to unlock the doors, so left on the D-pad. And usually it does ask you to put the brake into full application, but it's just taking a while. So do stay until you get that prompt in the top left. And now we need to go to the other end of the train. So what we need to do is change the reverser to off. So hold A and toggle that to off. I was on reverser then, so make sure it's off. And then we're going to head to the other end of the train. We do need to interact with a sleeping passenger here. And then just select, yes, we've arrived at the station. And then just wait here until we get a prompt. There we go, we've got a prompt now, so we can continue to the back of the train. And you press Y to sit down. You're going to switch this reverser to forward. And then we can lock the doors. So the platform's on the right hand side, so we're going to press right on the D-pad to lock. And then we're going to put the throttle to max. And then our brake is already released. And we're moving. So now what you want to do is press start to pause. You're going to go over to options and save your game. We will do this when we get a little bit closer. I'm just going to change the throttle back to 17%. I only put it on max just to hurry it up and get it moving. So you see this checkpoint is not too far away, it's 300 meters. And we're going around 40 kilometers an hour. So make sure you're doing the same. And then I'm going to press start, options, and save here. So I just don't have to do that section again. Now we're good to turn the throttle off. And I'm going to do some rapid braking. Doesn't matter that we are over the checkpoint. The train will kind of stop and there's no bumper for us to crash into. And that is that scenario completed, and you'll get the first success achievement for 20 Gs. Once you've got that achievement then, you're going to hit continue. And then we're going back to the main menu, not replace scenario, otherwise that will start you from the beginning. And then you want to go down to resume last played. And that's going to load our save point, so press start and go to options. And then we're going to go into settings, and then player assist. And we're going to change the player assist default level to standard. And then you're good to get out of the menu. And then you can change the throttle to off and do some rapid braking again. And complete the scenario for standard mode and get the setting the standard achievement for 75 Gs. So we need to do this once more for expert mode. So we're going to go to main menu, resume last played, and then press start, go to options, and then settings, player assist, and then change the level to expert. And then we're going to turn the throttle off, rapid braking, wait for the train to stop, and then you would have got your top link achievement for 100 Gs. Moving on to the next achievement then, we're going to complete the Collectibles, the Taskmaster achievement for 50 Gs. So we're going to go to the trains and then choose a route. We're going to go into the training center and then free roam. Yes, we're good to start at Central Square and we're going to play now. And then from our spawn, on our right, is the second route map. And then you can press start to open up the map. And you can see our footprints. Over to the right and down a little, you can find this nav hub fast travel point. So select that and then press yes to fast travel. And then we're going to jump on the footpath and follow it down. And on the left here, you can see map number 3. And from here, bring up your map again. And we're going to find that same fast travel point, the nav hub. Select that and fast travel back there. This time you're going to do a 180 and follow the path the opposite way. And just cross the railway tracks. A little shortcut. And you can see map number 4 in the distance. And then from that one, press start to bring up the map, and then go down, and you can find another fast travel point, Metro South. So jump off the platform, and we're going to follow this route down here. We're going to go up and over this grass hill onto this sort of muddy area. And to the left is map number 5. And then we're going to go back to the same fast travel point. And we're going to go left this time, wrap ourselves round, and find map number 6. From here, we're going to go over to the left-hand side this time and find Station 1. So go to that fast travel point. We're going to do a 180. And you're going to go on the train tracks. And you're going to follow the train tracks until you get to a house. And on the left by this house is map number 7. So from here, we're going to go back to Station 1. And then to the right here, you can find map number 8. And then from there, we're going to continue down this path. And then follow the train track. And in between these 2 trees, you'll find map number 9. From there, we're going to go past it. And again, follow the track. And you'll see a billboard in the distance. Go past that. And near this shed is map number 10. From there, we're going to go to the switch line fast travel point. And if you look to your left, near this car, you'll find map number 11. From there, look to the right and follow the train tracks. And at the end of the train tracks, you'll find a bus stop. And to the right of that bus stop is map number 12. And then to the right of where we are, we're going to go to the Metro North fast travel point. And directly in front of us when we spawn in is map number 13. From there, we're going to go left and follow the footpath. And then we're going to follow the train tracks. And to the right, another bus stop is map number 14. From there, we're going to go back up to the Metro North fast travel point. This time we're going to go right. So follow this path. And then we're going to cross the train tracks over to the left. So we're just getting around that fence. And down here to the right is map number 15. So now we're going to go up and to the right to find Central Square fast travel point. And then if you look to the left, we're going to head towards the mountain area. And you'll come across a car park with map number 16. From map number 16, we're going to turn right, follow the road, and then at the end turn left, and then follow this road all the way to the end till you reach a roundabout. and then turn right at the roundabout, follow the road, and at the bus stop on the right is map number 17. And then we're going to go back the way we came, back towards the roundabout, and we're going to turn right and follow this road to the end. Over the roundabout to the left is map number 18. So from there, we're going to do a 180. And then we're going to head up this hill, up the road, and just keep following the road. You'll eventually come to this fork in the road. You want to take the right-hand path, and you'll find map number 19. So now continue on past map number 19, and we'll follow this muddy track. And then we're going to cross the train tracks. And directly in front of us is the last 20th map. And you'll get your Taskmaster achievement for 50 Gs. Okay, you're now good to quit back out to the main menu. And now we're going to start with the designer achievements. So you want to go to the Creators Club. And we're going to go into Livery Designer. And then press the Y button to search. And you're going to search for 323. And select that. And then we're going to press X to add new. You can call it whatever you want, so I'm just going to hit confirm. And then go to layers. And then press start to add new. And then you can choose any of the layers here. I just chose sign. And then press start to confirm the placement. And then next to edit, you're going to choose the copy icon. And that will copy the layer. And we need to do this 500 times. So you can see where it says all layers on the right hand side with the star. This is tracking how many layers we have applied to the train. So as soon as you've got that to 500 or just over, you can go back and then save and exit, and you'll get the artist achievement for 50 Gs for creating our first reskin, and we'll get the livery layer leader for 150 Gs for adding those 500 layers. Our last lot of achievements then, we're going to create our own scenario, which is going to be a looped map. And then we're just going to let our train run it to rack up those 500 miles. So go to Creators Club and then Scenario Planner. And then go to the Training Center. And then we're going to create new and call it whatever you want. All of these are fine, but we're going to edit the weather. Press left on the D-pad for custom weather and it's all clear. And then we're going to confirm that. And then hit confirm again. Now we're going to add a service with the X button. Again, call it whatever you want. All of these are fine, so we're going to hit confirm. And then we're going to add a new path with the X button. We're going to go down to main loop track 1 and hit start to confirm that start marker. And then we're going to main loop 1 to switch line 2 to confirm that path with the start button, and you'll get the Cunning Plan achievement for 50 Gs. Next, we need to choose a destination. I'm going to choose main loop west 1. And we're going to press start to confirm that service. And then press the Y button to search. I'm going to search for 323 again. Select that train. And then A again to select it. And we're going to choose our custom art that we just created. So confirm that train. And then once that's all good, we can press B to save and exit. And then we want to press B again. Select your created scenario and press play. And then press get started. And we do actually need to complete this custom scenario once for a couple of achievements. So top left, hold A on the door key and slide that to on. And then go down and hold A on the master key and turn that to on. And I think we just need to wait a little to get the train moving, but I'm going to press the right on the D-pad to unlock the doors. Moving the reverser to forward. And then I'm moving the power to P4. These are the steps that I took to get the train running. Hit the door close button. Again, you can press right on the D-pad to do that. I think it just takes a little while. Again, moving the reverser to off and then on. This sometimes triggers it to move. There is a door close button to the right, so press that. Hit the door release button, and then over to the right is another door close button. Again, I'm just walking you through the buttons that I pressed to get the train rolling. It could just be time. And here I'm just fiddling with the power brake. And I'm going to turn the reverser to off again and back onto forward. And then it started to roll. So I think it's just a time thing, but again, you feel free to press the same buttons as I did, and you might have some success with that. So make sure you're in P4 to get us there a little quicker. And then once you get up to about 70 kilometers an hour, put it into P1. You can see we are around 800 meters away. So this is a good speed. And then I'm going to save it here, so I don't need to go through those steps of getting the train started again. I advise to do the same, because we are replaying this level. So 200 meters away now, we should probably go a little bit slower. I'm doing emergency braking. And it looks like we stopped a little short, but it gave it to us anyway. And there we are. Then we got the Exhibitionist achievement for 20 Gs for completing a scenario with our custom train. And we also got the Quality Assurance achievement for 20 Gs for completing our first created scenario. The last thing we need to do then is get our train to travel 500 miles. So we're going to hit continue and go back to main menu. Again, we can't replay service, otherwise it's going to start us from the beginning. And then go down to resume last played. And then what you want to do is switch the power to power 2. And then you would want to plug your controller into your Xbox so your controller does not disconnect. And then you can just leave this for 3 to 4 hours, come back, and then hopefully you've unlocked all 6 achievements related to traveling a certain distance, 5 miles, 20 miles, 50 miles, 100, 250, and 500 miles. And that is the 1000 Gs. Quickly, I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys for leaving really nice comments on my videos. I took a break recently, and just seeing these comments pop up on my phone, it really pushed me to pick up that controller again. So thank you so much. I'm even tempted to just print some of them out and frame them. Some of them are so good. But yeah, special shout out to Andy W, With a Hatchet, Magnisimus, Shadekill, Grand K Ozama, and Mafia Mike. But honestly, I do love you all, and the community that we're building is just, it's just like everyone helps one another, and it's just great to see. If you guys could just hit that subscribe button and help me reach 4K subscribers by the end of the year, that would be awesome, and I'll keep dropping videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.